Good evening, Dude79 here, just doing a quick mic check. Thank you, 7 Dungeons, so much for that raid. We really appreciate it. Crash, what's going on, buddy? Glad you could make it. Just doing a quick mic check, make sure everything sounds good. Hope everyone's having a nice night.
Hey, talk soon, guys.
And we'll be live in just a moment. Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I'm the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone?
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How you doing today?
I'm all right. Tired. Very tired. It's already been a long week, but we're doing well.
Yeah,
You?
I feel you on that, man. So right before the show started, we had Robot Voice. And, you know, I was able to check the information, check the stuff that I need to check. So now I can email them back and let them answer their questions they had. And we can begin the next phase of figuring out why the fuck this shit doesn't work. We had 2 straight streams, a show and a Friday night stream where nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
No audio glitch. And then just before we went live, Robot Voice was in full effect. So if it happens again tonight, you know, we're still dealing with it. It's still a thing. It's still an unreliable piece of hardware, and it really irritates the fuck out of me.
You should get your money back.
You know, I might just do that. Well, I'll see if I can get a free box out of them first before I go that route.
Hopefully.
Even though I think I have 4 more months for my warranty.
All
so.
right, well. Use
Got
it
a
to
little
the
bit of wiggle
fullest.
room. I'll milk them for what they're worth.
Ooh.
But yeah, man, you know what? It was a nice week. Started off nice 70s, and today we were at 47 outside.
Yeah, and like the other morning,
47, bro.
it got up to 80, but like we had a frost advisory in the middle of the night.
Yes, we got a frost advisory tonight too.
What the fuck,
dude? And then I don't know if you saw next week, 89, 88, like throughout the week. It's gonna be fucking hot, but we get fucking 50-degree, like, and it was weird, man. When I got up for work and I took Ethan to school, when I got in the car, it was like 57. I was like, okay, this is doable. I can do this.
Yeah.
But when noon came around and I go outside to walk, I was like, what? It was actually colder.
Yeah.
Because it got windy, and then that like dropped it down to like the 40s. It felt like 47. I was like, this is bullshit.
It's puzzling
It's Michigan, dude.
the weather in this state.
It's unbelievable. It's unpredictable and it's unreliable and it's fucking depressing.
Well, like this year, I feel compared to other years, and I feel like we're always encroaching slowly. Like, our winters are starting later, our spring's starting later, which over time that's going to happen. But like, I feel this year compared to even the last few years has been even weirder. Like the weather just can't decide what it wants to do.
Right.
And like we're halfway through May. No, we're almost to June.
We're almost to Memorial Weekend, bro.
We're almost to June, and we're getting frost advisories.
And somewhere
it's
out there,
hot.
Cuddles is enjoying that 70-degree weather.
It's Lobster Mania this weekend. I'm still on the fence. There's a chance I may end up in Ohio.
Even Ohio gets better weather than we do, and that's bullshit.
They get lobsters in Ohio, dude.
Cuddles gets warm ass weather and air shows above when he's working. He gets the fighter jets.
He's up there.
Dungeons gets Lobster Mania and fucking 80-degree weather, and we were like, "Yo,
and
it's
nice
fucking
roads,
fucking fall weather a week before Memorial Day."
Pretty wild.
I think it's wild isn't the word I would choose. Fucking lame.
You want to tell everybody about your fascination with the Ninja Turtles by chance?
I think we can say that for another show. That's another topic for another day. Maybe a Friday night stream with a bunch of booze and maybe on YouTube, not on Twitch.
Yeah, it's good. That's going to be for B&B after.
I know Dungeons is all about it, man. He was like into it. When
I
he
think
jumped in
we
the
were
chat.
all in tears at one point today.
Dude, I was. I had multiple people were going, Brent. What are you crying? What are you laughing?
Yeah, he
about?
was definitely full into it. You're right, Seven Dungeons.
I was, man. Dude, it's surprisingly how easy you can find that on Google, man. The power of Google. There appears to be a very big footprint for TMNT on I'm not even gonna say it, but it was pretty raunchy.
You should look up Blue Waffles.
Well, I can just tell you right now. There's a whole other meaning of Secret of the Ooze. That's what I can tell you right now. It's fucking it's
wow.
hot. And I'm there for it, baby.
I'm there for it.
But Tom, what have you been up to, man? How's life treating you?
No, it's trick or treating, that's for sure. House hunting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You once saw. Hey, thanks, Tricky. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that support. Shout out to our subs, man. You're the reason that we're able to buy equipment that doesn't work.
Right. Hey, and if anybody, it doesn't matter apparently where you live, where you're from, no matter what age, if you want to play some soccer, hit Tricky up in them DMs.
Tricky's got he's I'm telling you, man, he's turning into an entrepreneur. That's what he's doing, man. He's becoming a catalyst for all things soccer around
He's the Michigan Ted Lasso.
He is. He's the Michigan Ted Lasso. I can confirm that. Although he doesn't have any of the insight at work. He doesn't provide any of that like quirky insight that Ted Lasso is known for.
No,
just kind of a fucking creep, man. He follows me around in the bathroom, tries to get videos of me. He's
He
like, I
does.
found dude. It's like, that's fucking gross,
Big
man.
fan of that.
But let's see. What have I been up to? I beat Jedi Survivor. I
Yeah.
managed to power through that.
Mm.
And it was an enjoyable experience. Technical issues, and I actually did have another crash towards the end. It was when I was on the Mantis. Can't remember where. I love helping you buy shitty equipment. I appreciate that, man. Seriously, though, you guys subscribe, and I'm like, hey, let's go put some money into something that doesn't fucking work and gives us robot voice. I mean, it's money well spent, y'all. It's money well spent. Yeah, I beat Jedi Survivor. I had a crash towards the end of the game, but overall, I thought it was a great story. And it doesn't sound like it's gonna be too difficult to get to platinum. So I might chip away at that over time. Go around, beat all the legendary adversaries. The one that you can't beat, I'll go beat the frog this weekend just for fun. But I'm not gonna lie, I switched that bitch down to easy as soon as the credits roll because nothing is tied to difficulty in terms of the trophy. So I put that bitch down on easy. I'm going to get the platinum, but I'm going to get it on easy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And to be fair, I mean, you're right. Ogabodo, the son of Ogabodo, is
The
tough,
son of
and
Ogabodo.
I haven't gone back there yet since I've done a lot of upgrading. But then again, you were crying to me the other night. I can take on many enemies at once. What do I do?
Oh my god!
Switch to the double-ended lightsaber, bro.
He did give me that advice, and it did work out. I will give you credit for that.
Yes.
But I came to you as a man. I come like a whimpering
You were
little bitch.
crying like a little
I don't
bitch.
even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that, Brian, for sure. I know you're super hyped about that pork chop.
Brian and I are pretty much on the same page when it comes to Helldivers. It's a fucking amazing
you guys
IP.
Are super fans.
Curious to see how this one turns out. I know I got a couple, I don't want to say concerns, but we'll see. We'll talk about the show. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But I beat Jedi Survivor. We actually did get a code for Planet of Lana. I'm currently playing through that. That's available now on Xbox Game Pass, but I was able to get a code before launch from the publisher. Currently playing through that game.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, big shout out to Plan of Attack Biz. So really appreciate that.
Appreciate that code.
Gonna work my way through that, and then get a video review up on YouTube. It's my understanding it takes about 5 hours to get through the main story of the game. $20 title. It's reviewed incredibly well so far. What I've played, very akin to something like Limbo or Inside. Only a much more vibrant. Obviously, Limbo and Inside are very dark and very, kind of gloomy. This is a much more vibrant world, but a lot of the same.
My insides are gloomy too.
What's that?
My insides are gloomy.
They are fucking disgusting, is from what I've heard. But yeah, man, busy with games. Obviously, with the holiday weekend coming up, I'm gonna be out of town a couple days, but. I'm gonna try to get some gaming in here and there. Dude, you and I need to get on the golf course.
Yeah, I know. We can probably plan. Hopefully, sometime next week, and actually plan that out.
I need to get in the Walkabout Creek Miniature Golf VR, and if you have it on any of the other headsets, whether I think it's Meta and it might be on
probably like a HVC.
I think it's on one of those ones too. It's on several headsets. It's a fucking awesome VR game. You can have up to 8 people in a lobby. I did my first VR match online. And, dude, it's pretty cool, man. Like, it's just you can do, like, an avatar. You can create an avatar, how you want to do it. And then when you're playing, like, you're sitting there, and the other person will be up on the tee box, and they hit it, and then they'll look up at you, and that's, like, what their head's doing. And if they do a good shot, you can be like, yeah, like this with your hand, and, like, give them a thumbs up and stuff so you can communicate.
Can you talk to them?
Yeah, there's voice chat. And, like there was one time I putt, and I missed a shot, and I was like, I forgot he could hear me, but I was going, fucking God damn it. And he said, it looked so funny because my mouth was moving on my character as I'm talking, and my head's doing this as I'm doing it. So it looked like
he said that.
Yeah. He just thought it was hilarious when my head was doing that.
That's pretty great.
So like I said, it's a really fun game. So hopefully you and I can jump into that this weekend. And also I've been playing Red Matter on PSVR 2.
Yeah, that's been getting a lot of talk and a lot of buzz.
Man,
I think before you jumped, I don't know if it was. Before you started playing it, maybe I'd mentioned it to you. I just know I had read some stuff on that, and people were talking like, "Holy shit! If you're into space stuff, like this is."
Dude, it's got like that. It's not like it's got the same type of just like setting of like something like Dead Space, but it's obviously not a horror game like that. And, I know there's action that I'm coming up on, but it's not a horror game. But there's a lot of puzzle stuff going on. And, dude, it is a fucking gorgeous experience, like an incredibly immersive experience. And, like, there's several times where you go outside of the station that you're on or the ship that you flew to whatever planet you're on. And when you step outside in the skybox that you see, like right now I'm just off, what's the blue planet? Neptune? Is it Neptune that has like a blue hue to it?
Is this a Uranus joke?
No, is it Uranus or Neptune?
Yeah, it's Neptune.
Okay, yeah. So, like, you step out of, like, you're on Triton and you step out of that and, like, there's, like, Neptune. And it's just... It's breathtaking because you're just like, Jesus. I mean, the scale of it is incredible. At the start of the game, when you walk out of the station, you're right up next to Saturn. Yeah. And you just have these huge rings going over your head because, like, you're inside the rings. And when you look around,
so fucking sweet.
It is incredible. Like, it is a really beautiful game. Cool. So, and the puzzles are challenging. It's got good. The soundtrack's really good. The voice acting is really good. That's a high quality game. I think for I think it's either $19.99 or $29.99. But it is a high quality.
Is this an exploration?
No, there's puzzles, and I guess there's gonna be combat. Like I have to shoot at some point. But I saw in the trailers, like you're actually going up against AI or something like that. But it's a beautiful fucking game. Really, really enjoying that. So I've been playing a lot of VR.
So the question I want to just go back to the golf for a second. Is there like a hangout area? Like is there like a little golf like a club?
It's cool, man. You walk in. And have you ever been to Kokomo's?
Yeah.
You know how they have so the putting golf, you walk up and there's a table where you can cruise.
Yeah.
It's got that, but then you turn around and there's a deck that leads to a putting green.
Yeah.
And then a deck that goes to a driving range. Okay. Now what's cool with the driving range is there's like 8 slots like where people can go. Mm-hmm. And there's a mini game right there. You can do driving range and like there's targets all over this map.
You get practice a little bit.
But it's not putting. Like you're really going full swing and you're hitting the ball and there's like a score sheet like on everyone's thing so you can see everyone's score as you're doing it.
That's cool.
So you can go around this area. It's like a hub. And then when you go into the games, it's 8-player lobbies and open mic. And like I said, these courses are so fucking rad. And dude, I almost had my first experience where I'd fucking fall over playing VR. Yeah. Because like I was putting. And I was like trying to look at my shot, and I went to go look, and there's a railing in the game, like looking over the edge. So I put my arm out like this, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I almost bit it like right onto that TV stand over there.
That'd been great.
But it's just one of those things where you're walking around, you're like trying to see your putts, you're trying to see like where the ball's going to end up, and it is just an incredibly immersive. But right now, the thing that stands out the most is the haptics.
Yeah.
And the real life physics, like when you putt, man, whether you hit it nice and easy or if you hit it hard, you get that feel that you just normally wouldn't get.
Now, when you're on the driving range, is it like endless? Like, I mean, like they don't
like when you're playing that game,
like endless balls and stuff like that. You can hit
if you just hitting, you can hit as many as you want. But again, it's not like you're putting. That's what the putting means.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying that because I was just kind of wondering maybe like in the clubhouse you get in the bathroom and have endless balls too.
Wow. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, well, you didn't. It was on your face. You're in the clubhouse. We all know he's in the bathroom in the clubhouse.
I don't know what kind of golf courses you go to, but I'm
the fun ones.
The fun ones, I bet. Really
awesome,
fun experience, man. It's awesome. And like I said, right now there's 8 courses with it, and each course has a night version that's much more difficult that you can unlock.
Right.
So you basically have 16 courses, but then there's like 10 or 15 like DLC courses that you can get right now.
Damn.
All of them are based around certain like themes. One of them is like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh.
They just announced Journey to the Center of the Earth is another one that they're bringing in. So, and they're all, like I said, the themes are really cool, and they're all the miniature courses are built around that. So, really, really enjoying that. What else have I been up to?
Yeah, so you've been playing you're always playing way more than me. I'm literally just on Jedi Survivor and Octopath Traveler.
Octopath, yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm rotating right now. But I want to get back into some VR, and
you just need to focus on Jedi right now because we got Diablo.
I'm close. That's why I want to get it done hopefully this weekend or sometime in the next week because I want to be ready for. Well, also Street Fighter 6 drops next week as well too. So.
That's right. You have both that shit dropping on the same day. Street Fighter 6 and Diablo.
That's
4.
fine. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is. I'm excited about Street Fighter 6 because it just I love to be angry and play a game like that, but Diablo definitely is something that I'm absolutely over the moon for.
And then when's Final Fantasy 16 come out?
I think mid-month. I think
so. Like in the next 3 or 4 weeks, you have Diablo, Street Fighter,
and I'm gonna wait on the Final Fantasy to see the actual verdict. Though, like I said, I think it's gonna be.
Man, those previews that came out today were this week were really solid.
Hey, the game looks gorgeous. I'm really
not sold on it yet.
I'm really apprehensive about pre-ordering anymore because of the way the industry has been going.
Well, did you see the story that came out this week? The developer said there is no day one patch. They are that confident in the polish of the game.
Well, there's supposed to be a demo too, right?
Yes, a demo is going to drop. They didn't say when, but it'll be out probably a week or 2 before the game comes out.
Right.
I think it's supposed to be a couple hours. And then all your progress will carry over to the main game.
That will be now. If I play that and I'm like, okay, I can get down this combat, then I'll pre-order it probably. Right. Or I might still wait on like some of the reviews. I want to hear what it says.
But how crazy is that, man? A game of that scale launching without a day one patch because the developers are that confident in the polish of the game. In this day and age, considering the way games have launched,
pride comes before the fall.
Oh,
so we'll see. I mean, I love Square Enix, but. They'll never be Squaresoft to me anymore, and they're clearly not. So, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I know the combat's not, my cup of tea necessarily, but I'm still optimistic and objective enough to feel like I'm going to at least enjoy it. Yes, we're gonna. Yeah. Matter of fact.
Yeah, let's get into what we're drinking.
So I picked up a 4-pack of these because I was really excited about them. They actually happened to have them. They didn't have them. I might have missed them at Meijer, but I was just kind of walking around.
So good.
The vodka Sunny D seltzers, these are fucking good. And I want it to be, I wish it was a little bit more orangey, I guess, but I mean,
yeah.
Overall, I mean,
all these cans have been tampered with, so maybe some of the oranginess is at the bottom or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rubbing their tip on them.
I drank a 4-pack of these and a bunch of beers on Friday night playing with Cuddles again, and yeah, these really tied me over pretty good.
You sure did.
I was pretty loaded because you got what? How many phone calls did you get that night? How many messages?
Oh my God, you motherfuckers! What was that? Was that Friday night or Saturday night?
That's Friday night, man.
Man, I was
Cuddles was on a rampage.
Not even
man.
home, and I was out, and I was actually just playing some fucking Mario Kart. It wasn't like I said, I wasn't even home. So I was normally if I'm home, I'm usually in a Discord chat with you guys hanging out, and I didn't even realize you were streaming even. And all of a sudden, like my phone's blowing up. I'm getting phone calls, messages, voice messages. People like Blancor leaving messages. Cody Deacon, who never does that sort of shit, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then you guys are all acting a fool. We had like 8 or 7 of us.
We went 9
acting
deep, I think, at one point.
At one point in the Discord, just being absolute chaos. And honestly, like, it's chaos sometimes to talk or get your bits in or do whatever, but that's sometimes what the fun stuff is about on the weekends, and we have the ability to do that with a lot of people and just sit around and just fucking shit. Do that shit.
Crash wants to know who the fuck gave Cuddles my number. I don't even know how he
got your number.
Oh yeah, he called Crash too.
That's fucking great. That's great. So yeah, it was a good time, and hopefully we can do more of that soon. I do want to make sure I bounce back in the chat for a couple things. So Pork Chop mentioned, I know way back about Jedi. I just want to say, I'm the same way, man. I don't play new plus games like that. Like, if I might go back and get some of the achievements and try to get a platinum, I get it. But like, I'm not somebody who replays games very often.
Sure.
Just because my window of time, or because I do play a lot of long ass single player games and long RPGs. So I totally get that. I don't know if it's, to me, new game plus I get for the folks that want it. It's never worth it for me at all. Can with Trick saying that, and with everything that's coming out today, that's the second time.
What's that? What Trick say?
Just read it.
Oh yeah, you can talk about playing it, but you can't talk about what it's like. You can't stream it. You can't take screenshots.
Okay.
You can say I'm playing it. You just can't speak anything.
That's all I want to say. 7 Dungeons. That's what I was alluding to earlier. Dude and I, for how long ago was the first one?
Probably about 2 months ago.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
We've been involved in the Wayfinder super secret NDA closed beta for Wayfinder.
It's a global beta right now, but it's still under NDA. They still aren't letting people stream it and shit like that. So we can't really discuss it. But we've been in there, and I'm excited for this game to hit its early access point.
Yeah, I'm a big Airship Syndicate fanboy. Very, very open about that. I love a lot of the THQ Nordic stuff as well too. And I can tell you, as somebody who's played a lot of MMOs over the years, I'm very excited. Yeah. So that's all I think we can say about that.
I think we're getting close to where I think after this week, I think the next beta will be an open one, because I think they're only going to do one more beta, and then it's going to hit early access.
Yeah, and then we can talk and discuss that, because I definitely am looking forward to having some conversations with some folks about that one and talking about it here as well too. So
yeah, that's another one of those games that could be a lot of fun. Our computer's all acting a fool.
We know 7. I have probably more fun opinions than you, but I'm not always being a Chris about things. Anyways, Brian, I have not touched Trails 3 in a couple months. Once VR hit out and everything too, I'm quite behind on some things, unfortunately. But it's funny you say that, because I was literally just thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, man, I need to fire that up and at least get a little bit movement on that as well too. But so for sure. And Pork Chop definitely heard that you get 2 more saber colors and 3 perks, which.
Oh, you're talking about in New Game Plus?
Yeah, it's pretty cool and all, but again,
I'm not doing New Game Plus. I'm just going to continue
stuff. Yeah,
like I said, I just dropped it down to easy. I'm going to knock out all the other stuff, get the platinum, and be done with it.
Yeah. So. But yeah, either way, no, very excited to get that completed and be ready from some Diablo.
I'll be really excited to get your thoughts on that game, man. I feel like the story tropes and the threads that they really covered was really, really good.
They've already done some really neat stuff with the High Republic stuff, so
There's some. He hasn't gotten to some of the good stuff yet, Pork Chop, but there's a boss battle coming up that he's gonna fucking shit his pants over.
More than likely.
It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. Can't wait for my Diablo vacation soon. Seeing I clearly have no other PlayStation games to look forward to. Oh no, we got
and with that segue,
should we go Mogwai first? Get that out of the way, and then finish with PlayStation.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way, because
Okay, we're already deviating from the master plan. First of all, we're gonna hit up the only other topic.
We'll just touch on this briefly,
about.
Anyways. So.
The first 2 episodes of Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai is available now on Max, not HBO Max. It's just Max now.
Fucking stupid.
Where you actually have to download a whole new app, which is fucking asinine.
My thought on that real quick, why would you ever, after 30 years of known branding that people know and associate with, think of the bigs, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, now Last of Us, many, many more, and they change it from HBO, they drop the HBO and just go to Max. It's the dumbest thing. It'd be like McDonald's just going Donald's.
Dude,
somebody said that.
Did you see the Peacock thing I sent you? The tweet that they put up.
Yeah.
It said by no means necessary are we cutting off the first half of our service's name. We are not going to drop the P.
Right.
in Peacock.
Right. That was pretty brilliant. No, it's absolutely stupid, and I got a feeling that'll come back. They're gonna bring the HBO.
Yeah, I
back
mean, yeah, you
eventually.
drop HBO and you go with Max, but now you're referencing like the fucking bastard child of HBO, and that's Cinemax. Like really?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want to lead with.
Even though Cinemax had the best content after hours.
Now they did Skinemax. That's
My
what they call
my favorite show was What the Swedish Butler Saw. That was a good one.
it. Exactly.
That was a good one.
Yeah. One thing I did already find that I like because all the Discovery stuff got moved over. A show that I'm a super fan of is I'm gonna pronounce. I always fuck this up. Diners, Dive-Ins. Fuck, I always do that.
You already fucked it up.
The show I always fuck it up because I'm dumb. But the show with Guy Fieri, I love that show.
Oh, okay.
Where he goes to all the diners and stuff like that and dives.
Busty Cops is a classic.
It's
Cuddles is already
that.
coming in, starting some instigation with the soda pop thing. It's like calling soda just pop.
I just listen, and I'm from Michigan. The fucking actual terminology is soda pop.
It's true.
So the fuck, exactly. To me, that's I agree with that. Like, it's just like calling it pop. Like, I called it pop for a lot of my youth, but I'm like, that doesn't
I
make
blame
sense to me.
Fago, man. Red Pop. It has it right there. Fago, Red Pop.
Thank you. Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
13 seasons of that motherfucker are on there, and I am bound determined to plug through all those. So I'm excited about that. But no, yeah. So, anyways, digressing again because we're getting far off track. This dropped.
Yeah,
part of
first
the
two
new branding.
episodes are available now.
Mhm.
They're both about 22, 23 minutes long, and then basically what this is like kind of an origin story for Gizmo.
Yeah,
It takes place. I want to say it takes place several years before
1920s.
1920, so decades before the events of 1985's Gremlins. But Tony, yeah, man, first couple episodes, really good. The animation's beautiful. The voice cast is incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
The voice cast is incredible. James Hong, the legendary James Hong, who's been in like 7 decades of movies. The guy's like 90-some years old. He was Lopan in Big Trouble in Little China, and there was an amazing reference in the first episode. When I messaged you, I was like, okay, first of all, this show is really good, but there is a reference where the bad guy in this movie, his name is Riley Green, and he does an attack, a magic attack, where he actually does what Lopan does. He's got the fingers here, and he's doing this as he's attacking James Hong's character, Grandpa. And I was just like, as soon as I was like, no way.
As soon as I saw that too, I'm like, the fuck, he's really doing that
he's
shit right
doing
now.
the Lopan attack.
Yep.
And I was like, that is, and then Grandpa's doing the Miyagi.
He's using like the it looks like the drum punch
I was like, man, there's a lot of nods going on here.
I didn't know that they were going to cross over with Mortal Kombat. That was my only shot that Shang Tsung showed up. And
oh jeez, man, I tell you, the show it's rated PG, and it's geared towards kids, but I mean there's going to be references for people our age who grew up on Gremlins, but for being a PG show, there's something that happens in the second episode.
It's fucking dark.
I was like, holy shit, that got dark fast,
really fast, and it's kind of neat, and like
I thought it was cool. I was like, this is dope, but I was like, man, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't expect them to go that mystical with it, but hey, I'm here for it. It's a cartoon. Their Mogwais run around, but no, why not? No, so far so good. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. I've already called it. I think that the kid, the young boy, I think he is the grandpa in the original, the old man in the original Gremlins. That's
that would track with the age. That would track with the age.
That's my hope that he's gonna be like some, 20.
Because he's like 10 60, in this, maybe 8 or something. 60 years, 65 years,
70 year olds will be some old. I think that would be kind of cool. So
I think that's, man. We gotta go back and watch because I think he mentions his name in the second one. When the suits are talking to him because they're trying to get him to sell his shop.
Oh,
and those suits go in there and they say his name, but I can't remember what it was. I wonder if you go and watch that. It's Lopan. The first episode may or not have made me cry. Dude, I'm telling you, it's a really, really good show. It's really good so far. Like, I'm really curious to see where they take this, and I love how it's kind of an origins to kind of show you where Gizmo comes from. There's a whole colony of these little fuckers.
Did not expect that either.
Yeah, it's like
full-on origin.
Like, you're getting a lot.
That was pretty cool. So
getting a lot on Gizmo. So
yeah,
I really, really like the first 2 episodes. I'll be curious to see how this plays out. I don't know. I think it's 8 or 10 episodes. I forgot to look that up. But I'm really excited to see that Zach Galligan is involved. Billy, the guy who played Billy, is involved.
All that's going to work.
Show. Unless they jump to the future, unless again they reference somehow
I'm hoping there's a future.
he's
jump.
involved some way, and Billy's a fucking teenager in the
maybe
first
Billy,
one.
and then at the end of the season, maybe Billy's telling the story of all this. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay, he was an RIPD as well. I mean, he's been in everything, man. James Hong is in a ton of shit. He was also really big in the Kung Fu Panda movies. I believe he's in those as well. He's been in a lot of shit, you guys. So it's a great show. If you guys have checked it out, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, make sure you let us know what you think of Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. Available now on Max. Not HBO Max.
Love Gremlins, and I did see the second one in the theater, which was funny. If you saw that in the theater, the actual second movie, there's a part in it where like it stops and
yes,
we're at the theater and we're kids, and all of a sudden like the
very
meta
stops, or very
it was very fourth wall breaky, and you see like a bunch of gremlin shadows, like we're like what the fuck, and all of a sudden Hulk Hogan stands and goes, "Hey, what are you brothers doing up there?" Or something like that. Like, and we're just like, what? As kids, they're in this Hulk Hogan, and you're like, what the fuck?
Tricky made a good point, or he said earlier. He goes, I like the second one more than the first one. I love the first one as a Christmas movie, but I do think the second one is funnier. And it's much more bigger on social commentary. It's more making fun of society.
It's definitely
That's why the second one is so good, because it doesn't fall back on what made the first one so good. It does something complete. Yeah, it's very self-aware, and it mocks a lot of different things that were like big at the time.
But there are people out there that don't like the second one because it did that, right? I thought
I just don't trust them if they do.
Yeah, well, I agree with that too. I actually love both of them very much for, again, probably two entirely different reasons. My Christmas movie watch list has Gremlins on it, so
no, it's
huge fan.
Yeah,
huge fan.
Great show. Let us know what you guys think. We'll see how it plays out over the course of the season. All right, Tone.
Okay.
The only other topic tonight, and this is going to be a thing over the next couple of weeks, because right now, this is like this time of year, it's all about video games.
Tis the season.
Typically, we have E3 here, but E3 is dead. But over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we had, obviously today we had the PlayStation Showcase, and then in 2 weeks we have Summer Game Fest, and then we have the Xbox / Starfield Direct, which will be on the 11th, which I believe is a Sunday. So that following Wednesday, we'll have another show. It's going to be mostly focused on, the game stuff. But we have, as Crash mentioned, we have some big June movies, and that is one thing we will be going. That's why did we discuss next week yet? I don't think we did. Next week there will not be a show on Wednesday night. I might do a community night, maybe some Mario Kart, because we have not done that in a hot minute.
I've got a movie and it's a short week.
He's got to go to a movie. It's a short week. Thursday night we're going to see Spider-Man Across the Multiverse, and then Friday night is obviously Diablo night. So there won't be a show next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday we'll be back at it, and we'll be kind of previewing the Summer Game Fest, as well as, what else is there? The Xbox thing. We'll have a lot of shit. Oh, actually, Ubisoft Forward, I think, is going to be going on. Not that you give a shit.
Ubisoft Forward. No one gives a fuck about your buggy bullshit. Just kidding. I like some of their shit. Yeah.
Hey, man, Brian, like I said, it's going to be on and popping all weekend. You're going to be on all... Dude, by the time we get into the game, you're going to already be like way too overpowered. He's like, let me jump into your game and kill everything. It's not going to be any fun.
Yeah, we're going to see the machine this weekend.
Brian's going to have that shit beat before we even log into it.
He will. Hey, Gene.
Dude, we got the machine tomorrow.
The
Wrath of Becky is this weekend.
Fuck, is that in theaters?
I checked. It's nowhere near us locally.
Motherfucker. It's not straight to digital?
No, it's not. It's going to theaters first.
No shit.
Kind of get a run there.
Right,
and then we got Spider-Verse the following week, and then also Boogeyman the following week. So we have...
Which has been getting some buzz.
There's a little bit of buzz surrounding Boogeyman. And also another movie that took off at cons was...
not Indiana Jones.
Asteroid City. The Wes Anderson flick.
Well, that's one of the ones we're really excited about.
I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan, so I'm excited for Asteroid
Good to
City.
see you.
Hey-o.
What's up?
Genosaurus Rex. Dang,
Good to
Rex.
see you, man. Good
What's
to see you.
going on?
Hope you and wifey are well. Let's see. Next week, the next Wednesday, there is another Fathom event. And this one now we've Shin Godzilla's been out for a few years. I recently went and saw Shin Ultraman, and next week is Shin Kamen Rider, and it's only being played in the swanky Bay City glory hole loving theater.
Well, that's why you're there. That's
why I will be there, because it's not just popcorn butter and pop that you're sticking on your feet.
Oh my goodness.
Probably.
I am a filthy bareback Brian. I did not get the trophy. I didn't even bother logging in because I already got to level 20 the previous time. I was like, I'm not downloading that. I've seen enough. I'm out.
I got mine, Brian. I did was able to with Cuddles. We defeated that world boss that night. So
I'm not part of the
really excited
Chosen, but
about
I'll
that.
still be in the guild, so there's not a whole lot you can do about that.
Yeah. Yep. So
Sorry.
big excitement. So a lot of stuff, a lot of game talk over the next few weeks. So yes, we're gonna be very game centric and probably very movie centric as well too. And hopefully maybe it'll give me the chance to catch up to some TV shows and stuff that I need
We'll
to
probably
watch,
get a lot of shorts out there too for movies that we aren't able to cover on the show due to time or whatever. So
yeah.
but no, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about video games for sure. Exciting times ahead. But Tone,
Yes.
today
We
we were leading
years.
up today. We were super excited. It's been almost 2 years
2 fucking years.
since we had a proper PlayStation showcase. A proper showcase where Sony says, yo, here's all our first party studios and the cool ass shit they're working on. And they bring out all the big guns, and everyone's like, yeah, that's why I bought a PlayStation, all these fucking dope ass games.
Right.
It's been a while since we got those. And since then, we've got a bunch of mid PlayStation state of plays, except for the ones that focus on something like, something like God of War or
Yeah, if it's
Horizon.
like
There's
yeah,
been
like
other ones that have been kind of like, you
Yeah.
know. But this was supposed to be the big one. There was a lot of buzz from several journalists and insiders that were like, man, this is the one, y'all.
Tidix was doing something.
Tidix
today.
had bomb. He posted a tweet of a bomb.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a megaton waiting for us. Like, we're gonna have a big show. Now, tell them before we get into our final critiques of the show,
Yeah,
I do want to
specifically.
talk about some of the highlights, the things the things that stood out to us. Wait, is PlayStation still around? Forgot about that thing. Yep, they're the biggest platform out there. They're not going anywhere. They're market share, most consoles sold, a bunch of awesome first party stuff. So they're still beating the drums off Xbox even after a bad showcase, unfortunately. Anyways, we're gonna talk about some of the highlights, the things that stood out first and foremost. And this one is just for Brian. We're actually gonna run this trailer with audio because it's an incredible trailer and it captures
You guys
everything that makes
excited?
this game just so appealing.
Yeah,
So let's check out the trailer for Helldivers 2. Finally.
Is it?
Super Earth, our home, our way of life. But freedom doesn't come free.
No! Sweet liberty! No!
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. And you could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
Defense Force or something.
Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Experience true freedom.
Requesting air support!
The freedom to travel the galaxy and secure the resources we need to build a better tomorrow. The freedom to encounter fascinating life forms and introduce them to our sophisticated technology. The freedom to make new friends and represent the best of what Super Earth has to offer. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force and work together to spread prosperity, liberty, and democracy. Become part of something larger than yourself. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a
I love what
Helldiver.
it says here at the end, too.
Becoming a Helldiver may result in decapitation or mortification. Not all Helldivers survive.
All right, so now to answer a couple questions, Dungeon said, wasn't the first Helldivers more isometric? Yes, it was actually a twin-stick top-down shooter, but still used multiple buttons on the gamepad, and it was a fucking awesome experience. This is like built kind of like the same way. The narrative is very similar to what we saw in oh my god, I always forget the name. Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Very
Defense
absurd.
Force.
Very just a lot of like self-aware goofiness. But the combat was really, really fun, and it was a great cooperative game. Like, you dropped in on these planets, you had several objectives to carry out. There were several aliens that were looking for you and all sorts of, and all of them had like different attack patterns and whatnot. And you had to work together. And there was like different ways you could build your classes, so there was synergy between your classes. You had several like call-ins for like a minigun or a health pack or ammo and shit like that. Now this is obviously the big departure again is this is a third-person shooter now. And I'm not, at first I remember when this started to leak I think it was probably about 6 months ago, and somebody mentioned that it was going to be a third-person shooter. I was like, oh man, part of the charm of the first one was the fact that it was like a top-down isometric, like twin stick shooter. But collaboration will still be vital. Teams will synergy on loadouts, strategize their approach on each mission, and complete objectives together. Like you really have to go through and knock things out. And there was like this overall meta game going on as you were completing objectives and liberating more zones. So there was a lot of stuff going on with the outside of like the actual gameplay. But one of the best things about this game that made it so fun is that friendly fire is always on. You can't shut off. It is part of the experience. So if you're careless with your shooting, if you're careless with your airstrikes or your miniguns, you can wipe out your team pretty quick. Yeah, you can revive them or call them back in, but you have to really strategize and work together. But it's part of the charm of the game. It is a goofy fucking game. Okay, it's really goofy. It's got a lot of dark humor. This shit is my jam. And I know Brian feels the same way. And I played a ton of the first one. I really love the fact that on the first one it was crossplay with the Vita.
Yeah, it was
so you could move stuff around, play back and forth. It was don't play with fucking Tricky for sure. But this looks really good. I'm really excited for this game. It's going to come out in 2023. Arrowhead knocked it out of the park with their first one. This is one of their live service games, so Bungie is obviously overseeing this with Arrowhead as they continue to try to like polish this game, get it to where they need to be. I was concerned about the third person stuff. I was like, man, why don't you just put all the money into like more diverse maps? But as we saw in the trailer, as they were going through, there were several different areas with dynamic weather and different types of terrain.
I mean, it looks good.
It looks good. It looks explosive. All the content that's for the end. Give me the. I mean, Brian, I'm with you, man. This game looks fucking dope. And I'm glad they led with this. This is one of the things that I before the show on Twitter I put out like here's some of the things that I really wanted to see. And the last one was like, man, please let me see Helldivers 2. So when they led with this, I was just like, dude, what a way to start the showcase. Fucking hype. If this is a sign of things to come, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're starting off with Helldivers 2. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So Helldivers 2, really excited for that. I thought that was a solid way to open the show.
That's cool.
One of the other games that they ran beforehand, or just shortly after that, was Sword of Sea from Giant Squid. And Giant Squid is comprised of people that worked, with that game company on stuff like Journey, Abzu. This looks really, really good. It looks like it's a beautiful game. It's a brand new movement. It has a brand new movement mechanic, the hover sword, which controls kind of like a skateboard, and you hoverboard all in one. So you're kind of like zipping across this terrain. You're on this adventure, and again, these games are all about the visual style, the aesthetic, the immersion,
the environmental
the soundtrack. Everything is always super immersive in these games. And again, it comes down to this new mechanic. You build momentum to achieve great speeds and catch big air as you explore skate park-like ruins lost in the tides of necropolis of the gods. So, I mean, this is going to be one of those games that's going to have challenging courses to get through. There's going to be puzzles involved. There's going to be some sort of, like, battles going on. They're not your typical boss battles, but much like these other games that have inspired it, there's going to be some complex nature to it, but mostly it is just a game that you really kind of get sucked into.
You want to take an edible and play.
Dude, exactly.
Journey. I've had
Journey is one of those
I had an experience
games
with Journey.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. Take an Eddie and play some.
Man, with that Austin Winfrey score just kicking in,
and just being like, "Oh, I'm racing this dude." And like,
right.
Everything just kind of
The multiplayer side of that was like really subtle. Like it was very subtle.
But like when you become hyper aware of it, it's like a whole other thing. Especially if you're like high. So
I thought Sword of the Sea. I thought that looked good. And I was again one of the first couple titles where I was like, dude.
Yeah.
They're coming out swinging. We've got Helldivers. We're starting small with some of the smaller studios that make big games.
Yeah.
I was hyped about that. What was the next one? Oh, now this is the other one that I'm really curious about. I'm really interested in.
I think we're both pretty excited about this too.
One of the things I really wanted to see from this showcase was VR stuff, because obviously PlayStation VR 2, which is hilarious. A couple weeks ago, the IDC came out and said, "Man, the PlayStation VR 2 is selling poorly out of the gate, based on our numbers, and the thing is going to die."
Well, I mean, the price tag is.
It's not good, but then Sony actually released their numbers, and the thing is tracking it way ahead of the PSVR 1, and it's doing actually very, very well. And so knowing that and having played the games like Walkabout, Miniature Golf, and Red Matter, I wanted to see some more VR stuff. And Synopsis looks fucking dope. This takes place on the eve of a devastating global attack masterminded by the nefarious Colonel Peter Conrad, who I believe is voiced by David Hayter in this game.
Didn't you confirm? You confirmed that.
David Hayter is in this game. I just wasn't sure if he was playing Peter Conrad.
I think it is Peter Conrad.
He is voicing, obviously, of Metal Gear.
Solid Snake.
He's
the one and only.
He's got a little bit of experience with Metal Gear. He's playing the antagonist in this game, and you're basically on a hunt for him. Now it's cool because it starts off kind of like in almost like a covert mission, like you're some kind of military person or whatnot, and then you kind of go into this fucking weird realm of just sci-fi. You're moving things around with your hands. But, based on what I've played so far with PlayStation VR 2 and those new controllers, man, these games are just so much more immersive than using the damn Move controller.
Yeah.
And this is something that really reaches out to me because it's sci-fi, it's action, it's going to have a great voice cast. It's not only David Hayter, but also Jennifer Hale, another legendary voice actor in the gaming community. This drops on July 4th. I am all over this game. I'm really hyped about this because it's going to be another one of those games that's going to hopefully push the medium forward and kind of get some more noise behind that tech.
Right. And my hope is with some of the people involved in this and the crew involved, because one of my favorite things of VR is shooting games, but that also means that shooting games are also part of the oversaturation of VR.
Right.
So you get a lot of half-baked bullshit, unlike, things like Pistol Whip and things like that, which is really good. This has the potential, hopefully, to, be a little bit more than that. My only concern with this, even though it looks good, is that it looks very the graphics are what's the word I'm looking for?
Now here's the thing, and I know what you're saying, and I think this is one of the hardest things to remember. I do it all the time.
Right.
Whenever I see videos of VR or photos of VR, the photos and videos I sent you of Red Matter,
right, 7,
they look good, but dude, when you're in there, it just looks different, dude. It just hits different. And that's why when I see these videos, I'm like, yeah, it looks good. But I know when I'm in there.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing with VR is that it is more the experience. I'm after playing something like the
Horizon,
it's just we know what we can do.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying for that, because it still looks cool and fun, but like you said, it looks kind of like Super Shot, and I love Pistol Whip, and it's fucking literally stylized art as well too.
Sure.
So I just want more, because we've seen some of the Resident Evils that are literally Resident Evil.
Man,
You're playing
the
into
Resident Evil games are fucking nuts.
right, and we got that Resident Evil 4 announcement as well too, which more Resident Evil, more VR. Okay, we're been down that road. It's cool and all, but I just want to make sure that we're not getting in this rut where it's great people involved, but the rest
just kind of same DNA, just copy and paste.
Right. And graphics aren't always a seller for me as well too, but at the same time,
in VR, it's gotta have fidelity, man.
Sometimes exactly, that's a good way of looking at it, is that fidelity as well.
You gotta have that balance of fidelity and gameplay,
and that's just being kind of nitpicky as well too. Because I'm sure once you're in it, like I said, VR is not like playing other games. VR is it's literally an experience.
Yeah, it really
that's
is.
how it is. It's about that immersion, and if you still feel immersed, if you're immersed into it, and I'm playing it, maybe that won't matter as much as all. But that was my only critique about that. But there's good people involved, so.
And so obviously, and then the final thing, obviously the other thing that really stood out to you, and obviously there's a lot of other stuff in this thing. We've talked incessantly about Final Fantasy 16 that made an appearance. Yeah. We've talked enough about Street Fighter 6 that made an appearance. So there's things that we've already seen. This showcase was supposed to be about the stuff that we hadn't seen yet. Those were the games that we were like, man, I'm really excited to see these games. But when they run out a gameplay trailer of Spider-Man, you're going to get excited about it no matter how much you've seen. And, dude, we got a lengthy 15, 20-minute gameplay video.
I can't believe they showed so much. And honestly, when I saw Black Suit Spidey, I was like, what? Like
they really jumped ahead in the story on this because I don't think that's even been alluded to. I mean, obviously playing the first.
Why wouldn't you keep some of that stuff a little closer to the chest? And I'm sure there's more to come with it too, because by the end of it, you're already seeing what you would expect it to do, because what it corrupts basically, because it's an evil entity at this point in its life. But like, I was surprised that they went so deep into this like that. I'm like, man, like we know it's gonna look good, we know it's gonna be awesome, we know it's gonna be a blockbuster game, but like, can't you hold some of them cards close to your chest on that? Yeah. I mean, I have questions because the end of the last game you saw what I thought was, Harry Osborn, with the symbiote or something going on as well too. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Jen, Jen said it, but is it not just another Spider-Man game, just like a new or like another Halo or another Gears? I mean, people they're just another game, but people get hyped about them.
Well, you're comparing an annual game to a game that comes out every 3 or 4 years at best, if you can.
And again, it's all about the story too. I mean, the story of Spider-Man is going to top anything you get in a Call of Duty game, and so you're not playing. I mean, Call of Duty is the same game because it's multiplayer and it doesn't have to change much. Once you find the right DNA, you just push it out and just keep doing it over again. Spider-Man's going to build upon. They're obviously not held back by the PS4, but they're adding to the story. They're creating a memorable experience with the story.
I mean, I think that's a not a great example of comparing two different games. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's not even like comparing. It's like comparing a fruit and a vegetable at that point. Not even like a apple and an orange. In my opinion, like these games don't come out annually. That's like if they put out a new Halo every year or a new Gears of War every year. They don't do that. Those games build and they're built 2 to 3, 4 years sometimes in length. And while Call of Duties do rotate and they're usually in development a couple years. Throughout each other, they use a lot of the same DNA over and over and over. And I just don't, for me, I wouldn't agree that there's any comparison in the two to,
But the one thing that I noticed about this right away, man, is just the visual fidelity, how smooth the game transitions from gameplay to like these little takedowns and back into the combat. Obviously we know that this is just on PlayStation 5 only. It no longer has to take into consideration the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. They're able to just focus on the PS5 moving forward and getting the most out of that system and not having to compensate.
Which you can tell from the frame rate, the graphics, the ray tracing, everything that's going on in here as well too. And what's exciting is just generally, between Miles and Peter's version of Spider-Man's, is that they play generally kind of different because Miles has a special skill set of with the electricity, things like that. So now you're going to get a third option with the symbiote suit because it's going to play completely different from them two as well too. And lean into probably a lot of crazier kind of attacks.
I thought that was really cool how you can switch between the two of them throughout this mission, so you're kind of getting both perspectives of things. And again, it is seamless when you switch. Like if one's on one side of the city, that's that SSD kicking in. The benefits of it compared to like last gen is like you switch from one part of the city to another instantly, and it just continues on. It's like almost kind of like what they did with God of War, how there's just no cutscenes and everything just continues to move forward without any of that.
Or like how Jedi Survivor, you go through like little areas.
Yes.
I mean, Uncharted, I think was one of the first to start doing that kind of shit.
Where
too,
you do the shimmy through the walls. That's kind of like your load
screens, which is pretty smart. Yeah, Porkchop. You're right. I did hear that, and I didn't think about that, and that'll be interesting how it plays out, because the question is was the symbiote involved Harry then? Because I'm assuming it was. How did it get here? Are we going with like the crash landing of like the cartoon, or even the movie? Like, how's that all going to work out, right? And then how does Peter end up getting it too? So it'll be interesting how that plays out. So, I didn't think of that so deep, but yeah, Connor helping Harry. There you go.
Is it switching anytime you want, or only in story sequences? It looks like in this particular sequence, it looks like it's just kind of like prompted to do so. Yeah. But I'm sure maybe in between missions, when you're not actually going through one of these big sequences, I wouldn't be surprised if you have the ability to switch between the two as you're like completing side quests, because that shouldn't really matter. You should be able to switch between them. But I think in this particular sequence, because it's kind of like a running film, so to speak, it's just prompted you to switch to it because it's part of the script.
Part of the narrative, yep. So I would imagine hopefully like you get to a point when you do like in between missions, maybe you can swap between the two.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like when you're doing side quests and shit, you can bounce around, rank up abilities, rank up each character's skill set.
Choose who you want to use more. Trees. Yeah.
So what new bosses are in this? Well, we know before this gameplay there was a short like trailer.
Yeah, we know Kraven clearly looks like he's going to take the lead as far as a villain, and then I assumingly clearly Lizard. We've been through the small pantheon of the first one. I'm sure we'll see Kingpin again because he always kind of comes up through. I mean, Spider-Man, much like Batman, has quite a rogue gallery of villains. So, I mean, who knows at this point? I'm gonna guess at some point, True Venom may appear. Pete's
I
got
think
the
that's who
symbiote.
Tony Todd is voicing. Tony Todd is voicing Venom in this game.
Right. So we're gonna see like True probably Venom in this as well too. Who knows? That really could be anybody at this point. So I would say at least 2 or 3 pseudo confirmed there.
This sequence looks This sequence was bonkers.
That's exactly it, Brian. I'm really curious on that one as well too, because just like the movies, the games kind of do their own thing. When it comes to
because they're kind of like building their own like universe with this. They're not actually following the comics per se. They're just
called
Gamerverse
or whatever.
What's that?
Gamerverse.
Gameverse, whatever you want to call it. So, but I thought this looked really, really fucking good, dude. Obviously there was some. What was weird? One of the narratives that kicked up a couple days ago is somebody asked Insomniac, is there co-op in this game? And Insomniac said, no, it's a single player game. And there was like this fake outrage kind of like online. They're like, oh, there's no co-op. I was just like, they announced this as a single player game like 2 years ago.
Well,
dude.
I guess the guy that voices Miles was doing some bit about co-op and as well too, but I think they took out of context what he was saying. I'm not fully sure.
Oh, okay.
Just
Because I almost remember this was announced as single player only.
Yeah, because I never ever would have anticipated like this. It's like I don't need co-op in every game. If it's a narrative driven game, it doesn't necessarily need to be involved. So I was surprised that people were even pretending to be outraged over it. Like,
I mean, I'm not. I mean, it's just if people got to be pissed about something.
yeah,
so.
that's true too.
But overall, I thought that was a solid showing, and I thought it was a good way to end the show. But it's everything that led up to that is where I think you and I are in agreement that this was not
Yeah,
best-
we
the
are.
best
And the
showcase.
only other thing that was a big blip for me was the Metal Gear stuff.
Yes,
I
that's
had
right,
said-
Metal Gear.
I had said that last week or the week before that I was really looking forward to the rumors of the Konami IPs, things in that nature as well too. And this first of all was a cool announcement to kind of coincide with. Now, I'm concerned of what versions they're going to be pulling in here. Like, I really hope they don't do the PS1 versions of Metal Gear 1 or at least Metal Gear 1 was solid there. I hope they use like the Twin Snakes from GameCube, that engine, to do the first two. But then a full-on remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, which we've been hearing a lot of rumors about as well too. So I mean, that already just from what they showed, I mean, clearly looks awesome as well too. So that's really exciting. We just don't know, and it's been actually David Hayter himself today, an hour before the show started, on Facebook said that as far as he knows right now, they don't know who's tied to voicing that remake. So,
oh wow,
it would be really weird if they did that remake.
Bring in
and
Kiefer Sutherland again.
Did that bullshit again. So,
Brian says it is original MGS. They showed it on Twitter.
it's pretty controversial.
Oh, really? Not a fan, huh?
I mean, for fuck's sakes, the Twin Snakes version on GameCube doesn't even look like the original one.
Yeah.
It looks more like the second one with the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, much better graphics. That's fucking ridiculous. I mean, I'll still play it because I'm a cuck for MGS, but it's one of my all-time favorite series. But there's my fake outrage for 2 seconds. But it's very quizzical. Like, why bother? I don't know. You have all the ability to do something else. I wonder if it's probably because it's got something tied maybe to Nintendo. I don't know.
Possibly. I don't know. So that was the other thing that Tone liked was the Metal Gear stuff. I thought it was interesting too. I'll be curious to see how the remake looks. But dude, there are just so many other like concerns and questions and things that weren't shown and people that didn't show up that
let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I mean, like look, dude, we had like when you're doing a showcase, I'm expecting a lot of first parties to be there.
Yeah.
This is your focus should be first. I understand there's going to be third party announcements. I understand there's probably going to be some indies that show up, and there are some really good indie games that showed up.
There is.
There are some nice ones that showed up, but there was a lot of shit too that showed up. I was just like, why is this here? Or why is this here? Why is this even being shown? Like, I was just really weird to have these smaller titles that I feel like could have been a part of like a state of play indie edition or something like that. It was just really weird to see them in there. But, dude, it was the absence of so many other massive developers. I mean, Guerrilla Games, not there. Now, look, you can make an argument. Well, look, Horizon Forbidden West just came out, or Burning Shores just came out. But there's 2 teams at Guerrilla Games. What is the second team working on? There's rumors about this the online Horizon game. Where's that at? No, nothing from Guerrilla Games, so they didn't show up at all. Sucker Punch, not there. Now, did I expect to see Ghost of Tsushima in like a huge reveal? No, I would have liked a little tease, but I mean, with Rise of Ronin and now the other Japanese fighting game or Souls-like game that was revealed today, like, where is Ghost of Tsushima in the whole picture right now? I mean, we're probably not going to see that for a while. We have just so many of those types of games coming out.
I did too.
I really thought we were going to get like at least a reveal, like a little teaser. Sony Santa Monica, nowhere to be seen. I was really hoping we would see what Cory Barlog's team
Brian,
was
you're
working
right on that too.
And obviously the big hitters weren't ready to be shown. That's fine. Just make that state of play. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
When it's your
100%.
first showcase in 2 years, you can't run a fucking mid state of play. You got to have a big showcase. Naughty Dog. That was one that really surprised me when they showed up. Where the fuck is Factions, dude? Where is the online mode? Earlier this year, Neil Druckmann was like, hey, you'll hear about it soon. I would figure a showcase would be where they would announce this thing.
Be a good place.
I mean,
for
not
it.
even announce it, like a nice big reveal. So, like, where's that at? Team Asobi. Where are they at? Why? I mean, I thought for sure we were going to get another follow-up to Astrobot. That was a fucking amazing platformer.
Yeah.
Where was Team Asobi? Sony Bend. When did fucking Days Gone come out? Was that like 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
What? I mean, they're working on a new IP. Where was Sony Bend?
I don't know. It's wild to me because at the end of the day, it just felt like this was a very mid.
Yeah, it was.
It was after 2 years when you're 3 years into your system, roughly, or almost 3 years.
Right.
You're starting to get to the peak of the system. You want to start at least, even if Brian said, you're not showing like some of this stuff, or maybe they're busy or whatever, just give us something.
Yeah.
You got to generate at least a little bit of hype. Now, I know there's a whole other group of people that say, well, you do that and you got to wait 2 or 3 years, and it's like blah blah blah.
I understand that argument.
I get that, dude, and that's a fair point. But like, don't show like a full gameplay or trailer. Maybe just show us a cutscene of Jin or somebody like that from Ghost of Tsushima. Just
getting out of a spring naked, just like
whatever it is,
Kept
But
you waiting,
we needed more. But you've got a showcase that hasn't been around for 2 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all these first party groups that are making stuff, and you're not showing them. Listen, some of the stuff was really great that they shown,
Mm-hmm.
but like overall, 6 out of 10. I mean, that's kind of. I think that could be debatably as generous. Honestly, it is a hard C.
Yeah.
That was a very mid fucking showcase.
It really was.
And to kick off the summer of game reveals and game hype and stuff like that, this is not how any of these companies would want to put their best foot forward normally.
No.
This is very, very mid. And I was, overall, kind of disappointed in some of it,
No, I mean, that's not to say there wasn't any first-party studios there, but, like, even the ones that did show up, that did some sort of reveal, they were kind of, like, underwhelming to a degree. I mean, first off, we have Haven. Now, this is the one that I think stood out the most. This is from Jade Raymond. This is her studio. And this is a modern take on the heist genre. In a nutshell, this is a thrilling, competitive heist game where you join like an underground movement to rob the ultra-rich and rebalance the scales. It's a new type of like PvP and PvE. So basically, like you're on a team of people. You're trying to break into these facilities or these protected areas. There's AI and like security systems trying to kill you, but there's also another team of people trying to extract whatever riches or resources you're trying to
It looked
capture.
like futuristic watchdogs.
It was. Do you remember? See, exactly. Hood. Remember that game that we played, Hood, Law and Order, or whatever it was?
Yeah.
It came out we played it for like 10 minutes. We're like, it's not quite where it needs to be. Very similar to that. But I mean, like I said, it was a cool trailer. It looked like it's kind of got like cyberpunk vibes to it, so it's futuristic. Which means you can do a lot of stuff in terms of like the security that you see there, things you have to bypass. So that could make it fun. And again, there's 2 teams competing for the riches here. So I mean, that's exciting to me. I think that's fun. Hopefully, it's implemented better than it was in Hood. Even though I know Hood has gone through a lot of changes, and I've seen a couple people on social media talking about how it's actually a much better game than it was at launch. But but this
Nobody
far
gives a
along,
shit.
nobody gives a shit. But I mean, this looks interesting. I think this has potential. It's the most appealing out of the games that we did see from the first party stuff. But Haven obviously just acquired recently by PlayStation. I'll be curious to see more about this. I want to see actual gameplay. But this one has all the makings of something that I could get into with the right people, play with the right friends, go in there and compete, especially if the level design is where it needs to be.
Sure.
And Jade Raymond, obviously she's been a big part of Assassin's Creed, so she understands level design, she understands stealth mechanics and things of that nature, so that could be really good. This next game, I don't know anything. I know. First of all, I'm excited that Bungie showed up. But this is Marathon. This is the spiritual successor to the company's Marathon
Called it
trilogy
as soon as I was watching this too. I'm like, this is fucking
yeah,
Marathon.
90s PC shooters in the form of a multiplayer extraction shooter coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC, all with cross-play. This will find players engaging one another as cybernetic mercenaries known as runners, exploring a lost colony on the planet of whatever in search of riches, fame, and infamy. The studio writes over. That's what they wrote over on the blog. There is no single-player campaign, and the world will be structured around evolving zones where players will fight over loot before their teams can extract them. To the degree that there's a narrative, it sounds like it'll be based around players' actions and discoveries, kind of like what you do in like Destiny 2 with the raids and whatnot.
Sure.
But, I mean, hey, I don't know anything about Marathon. I do know Bungie knows how to make a good fucking shooter. I know they have those mechanics down. So I'll be curious to see more about this game, another extraction game with PvP elements to it. I don't know about you, man. I mean, this looked appealing,
yeah.
but again, we didn't see a whole lot of like. I want to see more gameplay from this shit.
It certainly does. Anytime I see, I don't play Destiny like a lot of folks do, but anytime I see Bungie, I still, I'm gonna listen, right? Like it's Bungie. They created one of my all-time favorite shooters, and honestly, Marathon, if memory serves me right, Marathon was the birth child of Halo in some way as well too. So that was kind of what helped platform them into those sort of things. So. It's kind of cool to go back to those roots, I suppose, as well too. It's just I haven't heard the name Marathon in many, many moons. So, the whole cybernetic references, the runners, all that stuff is really neat. It's kind of like that. It's still kind of like that cyberpunky kind of whatever thing. So I'm here for that. I love that stuff. It looks cool. It looked pretty. Again, at this point, like we're at the point in life where we're continuing to put out so many games, so many multiplayer games. For me to be grabbed with my interest on them, like, we'll see.
And this last one here, this is Concord. Now, this is from Firewalk. And Firewalk Studios is the one that's comprised of a lot of folks that worked on Call of Duty and Halo and Destiny. A lot of like first-person shooter specialists, guys and girls that have worked on those types of games. And this is supposed to be one of the. I think this is supposedly PlayStation wants this to be like one of their premier PvP games. It's a PvP first-person shooter. It's coming to PC and PS5 in 2024. But the problem with that is, dude, it was a pointless trailer. We have no idea what this game's going to be. You can't tell me, dude, that Naughty Dog doesn't have more to show of factions than what Firewalk pushed out with that trailer. There's no way Naughty Dog doesn't have more than what Firewalk has on that. Like, that's supposed to be, like, their big PvP shooter, and that was, like, the weakest fucking reveal out of the first-party stuff. And so, I mean, I know they're trying to build up a lot of buzz, like, oh, follow this and stay tuned. The other thing that really kind of irked me is, like, they were, like, some of the developers and even the studio itself on Twitter was, like, really pushing content creators, get a hold of us now. We want your input. I'm just like, oh, dude. Don't go to, like, the upper 1% of first-person people that find, like, ways to exploit games. Don't do it. Just make the game that your developers feel you should make. Like, they were really already starting to push like the streamers, the big streamers and stuff like that. I was like, oh, dude. I mean, I don't know if I want their feedback on games. But it's again. But at the end of the day, when those are your big first party reveals, other than Spider-Man, I'm not gonna diss Insomniac. Like, that was fucking dope. But that's all we got from their first party stuff, man. That's like incredibly underwhelming.
Yeah, it's very.
And I mean, I want to see Haven, and I want to do well, and I want Firewalk to do, and I want Concord to do well. But man, this is a showcase.
Yeah.
Where are your heavy hitters, dude? Like, Firewalk is a new studio. Haven is a new studio. Where's your seasoned studios?
Right.
And then the other thing that was super disappointing was the VR stuff. I mean, other than Synapse, which is this trailer right here. A lot of these games that were revealed were first of all, I think Five Nights at Freddy's looks interesting. I think that'll be probably a fun game to play in VR.
Yeah, a good scary
game. I think
game.
It's a good scare game.
Yeah.
But dude, the other two games that they showed, and I'm not including Resident Evil 4 because we've already known that Resident Evil is just going to be a really good experience, and that's fine. But the two other big reveals that they showed was Arizona Sunshine 2. The first one was fucking terrible on PSVR 1. I threw up. That is one of the first games I played in VR where I was like, I'm going to go throw up. And I ran upstairs and threw up because it was just a fucking horrible game to play. It was not optimized for PSVR 1. It was a garbage experience. And then they run out the trailer for Arizona Sunshine 2. I'm just like, nope, that's a hard pass. I don't care if it's good. I just don't trust that developer because it was such an awful experience. And then the second one they run out there is fucking from Smitegate, the same people that made Crossfire X, the abomination that came to Xbox. They're making Sierra Squad, which is coming to PSVR 2. Where the fuck is Firewall Ultra?
That should be the one. They should be that should be the one.
Dude, we already got Pavlov. Cool. That's all. That's a good holding point. You have Firewall Ultra sitting out there, getting ready, running on Unreal 5. This is going to be the premier PSVR shooter. It's not at your showcase. You run out fucking Crossfire. Again, Crossfire X, one of the worst fucking games that's ever dropped all gen. And this is the same developer bringing this. I'm like, I have no interest in this game. The VR, so where is Half-Life Alyx, man? That's the only one I really wanted to see was Half-Life. I was really hoping that would show up because seeing what this headset can do, Half-Life would look fucking dope. Instead of running out here with Arizona Sunshine 2. Cool. Not hype, dude. And then, to top things off, the most fucking cringe trailer of the entire show.
I think everybody felt like this. I was reading
You get
the
it with
chat.
audio, folks. You can watch and cringe with us. Let's check out the trailer for Foam Stars.
I don't know. You already pre-ordered it.
Fucking stupid. This is terrible.
The Twitch is very colorful with this one.
Oh, that's square though, right?
I'm telling you, once they, whenever they get out of their lanes, man, it's just usually controversial. I have the ability to download Forspoken and play it on my PlayStation, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I can put that on my system.
Brian, Brian, I want to hear your thoughts on this too, man.
Okay, it's a showtime!
It's a
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a fucking egregious ripoff. No shame whatsoever. The thing is, for 2
Candy, guys. Let's switch. Nintendo's getting the lawyers ready right now. You're in trouble, Square. And the games fail and tank because they didn't support them. They want to blame it the developer.
Ready for the foam
instead of
star
themselves.
party?
It's just like, see?
That's fucking garbage, dude.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I knew someone would get Brian going.
I knew it.
No, that was an embarrassment. Like, and it's at this point when this popped up, and then we had Cat Quest, and then we had that fucking weird, goofy-looking teardown game that looked like Minecraft. We were blowing shit up, and I was just like, and at that point, I was like, where the fuck is this show going? I feel like that is when the train went off the tracks. That's when we were like way off the grid, and we had lost our way, and there was no way to recover.
When we got to about the halfway point of, I remember looking at the clock at 4:33 and said, okay, we've seen some interesting things. We've seen some things I'm curious about. We've seen a couple of like, okay, some stuff I'm excited about. But at that point, I'm like, literally in my head, I'm thinking, now we're getting to the half part of the show. We're going to start seeing some fucking fireworks.
Yeah,
like,
man.
They're going to roll out some, and I'm like, as it continued, I'm keep looking at the clock, and I'm like,
nope, here's
there's 12
Arizona.
minutes left. Like,
Here's Arizona Sunshine.
what
Tone.
the fuck is going on here? Like, I was literally, yeah, exactly, Brian. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, yes, Crash, you missed the fucking Spider-Man talk.
What'd you get from Taco Bell, though?
Yeah, what did you get
I
from
want to
Taco
know
Bell?
what you got from Taco
That's
Bell.
usually, that's, yeah.
It's very telling. I want
There's
to
like
know.
3 or 4 things I'll get from there because, even
What
half
are the
those
things you get?
The things I can eat there without making me feel like I want to die for 2 days. I love the cheesy gordita crunches, but they're also I got to go to the bank and get a loan to buy them now because they're now $4.49.
Dude, $4.49.
$4.49. I used to sometimes get a shot of sour cream on them too. Kind of add that little extra. No, you can't even do that anymore because then your credit card's gonna bounce.
The best deal in the world right now is at Arby's. If you can get 2 beef and cheddars for $7, and then 2 of those rib sliders for $4. For
awesome.
$11, you can get 2 beef and cheddars and 2 of their top tier sliders.
Though.
That's a lot for Arby's.
That's a lot.
For $11, that's a lot.
Do you remember we could get 5 for $5?
Oh,
back in the day, do you remember
man.
that?
That'd be like 5 for like 20 now.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the good old days.
Remember that? Yeah.
But overall, dude, I feel like this was a major missed opportunity for Sony. Like they really dropped the ball on this one. 2 years in, since our last showcase, we haven't heard from any of the big studios. I mean, I'm not gonna be too hard on Guerrilla. But I am because they do have a second team that's working on something, and we didn't get to see from them. And I'm not going to really go too hard at Sony Santa Monica simply because of God of War just being out recently, Ragnarok. But I would have liked to have seen a little tease because I know Corey Barlog's been working on that game for a couple years now.
Yeah, I mean,
and so I would have liked to have seen that. I mean, 2018, that's 5 years ago. That's when God of War came out. So Corey Barlog's been working on his new IP since that launch.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Because he was not involved with Ragnarok. That was Eric Williams. So I was really disappointed that we didn't see anything from Sony Santa Monica. But, I mean, to not have any of your other heavy hitters, we didn't have Rise of Ronin wasn't there. We didn't see, God, what was the other?
Twisted Metal.
No, we didn't see anything from like a Twisted
Nothing
Metal.
from the Konami IPs outside of MGS.
Yeah,
shit.
nothing Konami.
No
No
Death
London
Stranding 2.
Studio wasn't there. I thought, I was really hoping we were going to get a remaster or an upgrade for Blood and Money. That VR game that came out that was really, really well received.
Yeah.
Because it was held back a lot by the move controller.
Yeah.
The shooter one.
50
yeah, dude.
Cent in it, Blood in the Sand.
Yeah.
That was fucking gnarly, bro.
Not that one. Not
fucking
that one.
gnarly.
But no, and again, and for Sony, for them to drop the ball on this, where Microsoft has just really had just a stroke of bad luck in several situations. Redfall being a disaster. You've got the acquisition kind of like in limbo right now. They just don't have a great vibe about them right now, and Sony could have came out swinging. Yeah. Like, let the dogs out. But now here's the opportunity for Microsoft because people are talking about this was a major letdown for Sony. Now, look, it's not going to change anything about sales. The systems are still going to sell. Spider-Man's going to push a lot of systems. It's going to go crazy in the fall. So, I mean, that's going to do incredibly well. And Sony just has, right now, it's just everything's working for them.
I mean, they've got the market share.
They've
so
got everything locked down. But this is an opportunity for Microsoft to really change that narrative. And I think they have the capability to do that. If they come out with their showcase and they come out swinging with their first-party stuff, if we can see Hellblade 2, Avowed, and all these other games that they have with these studios, they have an opportunity between now and when their showcase comes out. Look, their showcase is probably pretty much all set in stone unless there's something else they can add last minute. But considering the stuff that they have that we know about and any secret reveals they may have, they have an opportunity. Not yet, Brian. We're going to get to that here in a second. They have the opportunity to really change the narrative and build some serious buzz heading into the holiday with Starfield. Now, whether or not Starfield is good or not, that's still big. For that's really going to affect the narrative for Microsoft.
You know what I think about Bethesda?
I know you do. But I mean,
honest.
this gives Microsoft though seriously a big opportunity to kind of go out and steal some of the thunder, take some of the wind out of the sails of Sony, because this was, in my opinion, I thought this was a weak-ass show. It's one of the weakest presentations, considering it's been 2 fucking years since our last showcase. This was a weak-ass showing.
I wonder if there's a couple things going on. One, I told you before that I feel like sometimes they do this shit, and I don't necessarily think it's on purpose. I just don't know. I wonder if they just don't care because they are leading the market share right now, and they're like, we don't got to show nothing because we're still going to roll sales. Are they because they acted like that during the PS2 or during the PS2 era, era, which carried in the PS3 era, and then they got stomped waffles on, Jesus Christ, let me try that again.
Blue waffles?
Exactly. They got waffle stomped that generation on the 360. So, the question is, with that, and then 2, are they? I saw something about this as well too, and I saw this before. and it was brought up again after the show. And I don't know whether or not like this holds weight or anything, but it did kind of make me think. I'm like, it's kind of a stretch. But are they holding more cards to their chest because of the Microsoft acquisition?
Yeah, I think we're past that. I think this
that's irrelevant at this point.
I think that's irrelevant at this point. But again, if there's any truth to the rumor that this showcase had been pushed back a while, this showcase was already set in stone. It's really difficult for them to change these showcases around once they're already set in stone. This thing was supposed to, according to Jeff Grubb, I believe it was, this was supposed to happen in September. This is supposed to happen last September. So this thing got pushed back a ways, but a lot of what that show is set up for is what we got today. Mm-hmm. And if they couldn't add anything else from the first party stuff from September till now, how far along is this stuff, man?
That's concerning as well too.
You know, so. I think the biggest shocker though is the fact that Naughty Dog didn't show up for Factions. That just blows my fucking mind. That we're now heading into the holiday season. We're past the big reveals of like the summer Game Fest.
Jim Ryan's gonna do an apology tour tomorrow.
Oh jeez, man, fuck Jim Ryan. I just don't want to hear anything.
Anytime, as soon as I saw his fucking dumb head, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, you knew he had to leave that up.
Jim Ryan's talking today. Jesus fuck.
Neil said we'd see more this year. I get it. He said that a couple months ago, and the showcase would have been the place to do it. I mean, if they want to do a state of play later on down the line, I guess that's fine too. This is a showcase. This is where it should have been.
Brian, I do want to get to the Taco Bell thing here shortly, but Brian did ask if you had a choice, showcase or nothing, what would you choose? Point blank.
Oh, I choose the showcase. I don't want. If I didn't have anything, I'd be pissed off. Like, where the fuck is the showcase?
Yeah, we'd still be crying about it probably either way. So, yeah.
Plus, if we didn't have a showcase, we wouldn't have seen Helldivers 2.
That's true. So
Helldivers 2 made me happy, dude. That made me smile.
Crash, you can get the quesarito if you actually use the fucking app and order it, or like a Grubhub or a DoorDash. It's exclusive to an app. So that's how you get the quesarito. You can't just go up there nilly-willy and do that. You know, you got to upgrade, buddy. The grilled cheese burrito, actually, I don't eat the beef there typically outside of the Cheesy Gordita Crunch. I do like the grilled cheese burrito, but
I get the steak one. I get with the spicy with the jalapenos on it.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, man. Big fan
Delicious.
of that one. Brian mentioned this just a few moments ago. There is a new line of stuff dropping for PlayStation 5. On the far right, I am curious about the headphones. I am curious about the wireless buds because they also connect Bluetooth to your phone. So if you're in Discord, in the party chat, you'll be able to talk through that as you're playing on your PlayStation 5 as opposed to using their lesser the Discord on fucking Xbox is infinitely better than the Discord on PS5.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a goofy clusterfuck on PS5. If I have these headphones and they have the 3D audio for the game, and I can sit there and use Discord and or talk to somebody on a phone call, that might be an easy purchase to make. Now, the middle item is a complete fucking goofball choice. I don't even know what this thing costs. All I know is it's going to cost more than the backbone, which Sony just announced for the Android phones just the other day. There's an Android version of it. Now, the backbone is basically what you see right there without the fucking expensive screen in the middle. You just stick your iPhone or your Android, and you can stream your games. The backbone is like $99. Sony will probably price this thing at some ridiculous price that makes no fucking sense. Like, I don't understand why this thing exists. Everyone has an Android phone or everyone has an iPhone, and they can plug it into the backbone, and you can get that experience right there. Right there. Yeah, you're not getting the haptic feedback, but I don't give a fuck. I'm playing on my phone. I don't need the full experience. And if I want the experience of a haptic, guess where I'm playing, dude?
Yeah. Well, isn't this
At my
also
TV.
like is it's just streaming? Like
It's streaming. You can't do anything native on it. You have to be on Wi-Fi.
So I was excited at first because I'm like, oh, it's like basically a Switch. Like I can take my games on the go finally PlayStation.
Now, see, that's the thing, though.
Soon as
I
I
can play things on like my cell phone. I can play it off like LTE or 5G or whatever you have. I can plug it in and play it. I don't need to be on Wi-Fi. This thing, I think you need to have Wi-Fi. It doesn't, because it's not like the shitty Vita. There was not the shitty Vita. There was two versions of the Vita. One had shitty. You had to sign up for the 3G plan or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
But like it's just dude, $200 at minimum for sure. I think it'll be $200, and everyone's gonna be like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude!" Right. I just paid $600 for your fucking VR headset.
If it was native to the handheld itself, and you could like literally just play your games on it, or
that's
something like
what
that.
I want from the future, man. I want a native handheld as opposed to fucking streaming shit.
Well, yeah, that's where because as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, I could take my PS5 and then like, oh yeah, no.
Gotta have that Wi-Fi.
Or they could just dust off the fucking conveyor belts for the fucking Vita.
The Vita, I love the Vita. Has so many more features than the fucking Switch. It's hilarious. the Vita is like infinitely more, has more features than the fucking Switch. It's incredible. It's incredible. But yeah, that was a weird addition. I just don't understand the Project Q thing. And the way they shoehorned it into the presentation, like it cut off a couple times when Jim Ryan was like finishing his sentence. Like you can tell they just chopped it up and said, "There, put this in there, new hardware." And there's no way people buy it. That thing will be dead before the PS Vita TV was dead. That thing died so quick. Even though the PS Vita TV was really fucking cool, nobody fucking bought it except for the losers like myself who thought, "I'll use this all the time."
You probably bought it from me.
And I did use it, but I was just like, I can play it mostly on the go, so I don't need it.
Yeah.
But no, man, it was a weird announcement. But the headsets I am curious about because if I can do Bluetooth into it,
They're 150, I'll bet.
I'm gonna guess 200 minimum.
Really?
Because that's just how they are, man. That's just they'll say, "Oh, well, due to the economic."
Well, I always say Sony and Apple are a lot of the same.
They really are, man. They think their shit is so much better. The only reason I buy Apple is because I'm invested in iTunes.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You know, they got me hooked into their ecosystem. I started
That's
off
how
with
it
an
works.
iPhone when I was a kid, when it first came out. So I was like, cool.
That's how it works.
And then I was like, I bought everything else, so now I'm stuck in here. So, but we do have a poll, and I don't know if Cuddles is still awake. He might be. But I'm gonna hop in here. But Tone, share us the story, man. One of your favorite things about oh, there it is. How would you rate the PlayStation Showcase? It's right there, you guys. Amazing or okay? Amazing or okay? I want to get you guys and girls' thoughts. There's a vote in the chat.
No, it was definitely okay.
I'll be kind of curious. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna say okay.
I'm not.
Best. You're not gonna vote, dude?
No, I got to turn my phone on. I don't want to do that.
Uh-oh. There it is. Oh, 50%. Oh, man. Oh, this thing. Oh, my. 20. Oh, what kind of. What's going on with this poll? We got some people saying amazing.
I like how Schmerit out there said he'd kill some Taco Bell right now. That man's order at Taco Bell is to drive up.
Yeah, this thing. Okay, Cuddles did it right. This thing is just acting stupid on the screen, you guys. Right now, currently massive we had amazing. Sorry, the audio's on. Amazing, okay, or massive disappointment. And currently, massive disappointment is in the lead.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna blast Mackenzie out here. He not only does he drive up to Taco Bell because they know him personally and his middle name and probably his children, but he just goes up there and they just put together a tortilla, cheese, and beef and just hand it out to him. That's it.
Really?
That's about what he eats at Taco Bell. Yeah, cheese and beef.
I could only see voting for okay if you were a developer who was making one of the games. Yeah, man, it wasn't good. But I mean, like, look, there are some games in there that I'm sure people are fucking hyped about, and I have no problem with that. That's fine. There are some RPGs that were listed in there. There was one. What was the one? I thought it was like I thought it was an addition to
Genshin Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember which
there
one.
There were a couple in there that a lot of people were like, "Oh, is this Genshin?" I'm like, "Is this Genshin?" There was one that had the over anime styled like girl in the mech and the sweet jetpacks. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, what was that, Brian? Brian would know. Brian, was that Blaz? Was that Blaz? That wasn't BlazBlue, was it? BlazBlue? What's that called?
Oh, I wonder. Did I see? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, yeah.
Brian,
I'm still working through some of that.
Brian would know this.
BlazBlue is a fighting game.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was a fighting game. I can't remember what that one was. But like I said, there was stuff in there that people really dug, and that I'm sure really liked it. So I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me if there were some people that thought it was okay. The game show weren't bad except for home stars, but they were JV freshman football players at the Super Bowl. Like, why are you?
Yeah,
there was a lot of those types of, like, again, a lot of those titles would have worked just fine at a state of play for indie games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been really good for a state of play indie game, but unfortunately, they ran all those out for what was supposed to be the biggest show in 2 years for PlayStation, and they fumbled it.
Even if, and if you're saying is correct, that this showcase was put together last September and should have been out months ago, even if that's the case, okay, that's fine and get it. That doesn't mean it's excusable though.
No,
not for when you're coming to the summer with the games, and you know Xbox has got good stuff coming up, Nintendo's got stuff up. You got the summer Game Fest coming up. Maybe they're holding some of the big cards for some of that. Maybe they're gonna have some world premieres then. I don't fucking know. All I know is that people are looking at you to be the ones, kind of kick off some of this stuff that we're going to begin over the next couple weeks.
Right.
Then maybe you should have done this either after, or guess what? Change the fucking thing. Like I don't know. Call the audible on it. Don't fucking show it at all. Or you could have just got off your ass and showed it 2 months ago. I don't fucking know.
There's no way they ran this trailer in an office and said, yeah, this is a good way to kick things
This is
off.
what happens. You got guys like Jim Ryan that are out of touch with what they're doing, and they're fucking going, okay, let's fucking sign off on it.
That was just I just don't understand how that got greenlit or how anyone thought that was a hype worthy video after 2 years without a showcase.
Are we basically done at this point of the PlayStation Showcase?
I think so.
Okay, cool. I want to bring up something real quick. It's really random and off topic.
Oh shit.
Everybody's well aware that for 14 fucking years I worked for a terrible company called GameStop.
Oh yeah, get into this.
And on the day of the release for Tears of the Kingdom, Brighton, Michigan, a GameStop that was very well known to me. I've known multiple store leaders that worked there that were part of my district and all this other shit. They that morning, one of the biggest releases of the year, the entire staff walked out and left the keys on the counter or whatever and didn't open the store. A day where you know they usually like to get their market share and blah blah blah.
Sure.
And left notes on the thing that said, hey, we blah blah blah. You can find it online. It's really cool. We should have pulled it because I didn't expect to talk about it. It happened a couple weeks ago, and it was really great to see from somebody like me because I don't always bash the places I left after I worked. I've only had like 4 jobs my entire adult life since 16 years old. I don't job hop. That's just not my thing. I was there for 14 fucking years, and I can tell you that at the beginning of it, I mean, it's a corporation. It was pretty sus, but they did stuff even back then that was really questionable. But for the most part, it's pretty good. I got $3,000 worth of freebies all year. I had at least 3 or 4 PS4s given to me last gen. I had at least 3 Xbox Ones given to me last gen. PSVR, name it, they gave it to us. Those companies stroked GameStop because we were their word of mouth. We sell their products and stuff like that. Xbox is always really awesome to us.
You face the customers.
And then Sony also was very, very good to us as well too. They would almost kind of one up each other every year. One of the best years, and it was Sean Layman was still around, and he was just such a great guy who just loved being who he was, and that he could talk to people. I'll never forget when the PS4 was dropping in 2013, and everybody was just so excited to get all the freebies and all the whatevers. But anyways, so that staff walked out, and the reason partly that I left GameStop in 2021 was because after the pandemic, they treated the staff during the shutdowns absolutely terrible. It's well documented that there's only 2 companies in the United States that have a special entry in Wikipedia about their behavior during COVID shutdowns: GameStop and Hobby Lobby. I believe it's Hobby Lobby.
Oh, really? Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby, or maybe it's Joanne. Maybe it's Joanne Fabrics.
I believe that
it's one of the 2 there, but GameStop is certainly one of them. They were telling folks in Boston and other places where there was riots going on that you need to stay in those stores and protect the safe, protect the product, and all this stuff. While cops are coming in and you telling you, hey, there's shutdowns, you can't leave here. They wanted people to hand cops sheets from the corporate says we're not shutting down, we're saying no to you, basically, and things like that. That was a lot of the start of it. And then when we get back to work after all of it, they were pressuring me weekly, calling me saying, we want you to go back in the stores. And I'm like, I'm following governor's orders. I'm sorry. We don't have to.
Right.
And they knew they couldn't make us. They were trying to talk us into it. My staff wasn't ready, blah, blah, blah. We get back there, and it becomes me working for 8 or 9 months, 11:30 a.m., 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's for months. Listen, when I'm 22 years old, that shift is great. I can get out late, drink, do whatever, get up late in the morning and call it another day, right? At that age, 40-something, that's not what I was looking to do. And it cut my social life out and everything as well, too. So that was part of it. And then also working mostly 30, 35 hours a week, solo, by myself, doing the work of 2 people.
Right.
I digress from all that. It has gotten worse since I left. I read the subreddit. I know the people that are working there. I hear all this stuff. It has just continued to get worse. And one of the problems with that is what they stated on the door when the Brighton folks walked out was that their district manager and their regional manager, who I know both of them personally, especially the regional manager, who is not a great person to work under, they left their emails there and stuff like this too. And it has progressed every day. It's made more national news here, there, or whatever. YouTubers are picking it up. There's a guy that used to work there called Camelot who picked it up as well too. Now he's a goon. I don't give a shit about half the stuff he says. I think he's over dramatic about it. But He loves picking them apart because he worked there for a long time as well too, and he can speak on a lot of that as well because there were good days at GameStop and it just continued to get worse. And now what came out this week is if you've been shopping or you have shopped at GameStop for many years, you're probably aware of the Power Up Rewards. And I can tell you that the Power Up Rewards, first of all, is one of the few things in retail that as a rewards program you have to pay for to get their benefits or whatever. A lot of places went to like free model, get points or whatever, this, that, and the other. They want you to pay $15 a month. There's been times, or $15 a year, excuse me. There's been a lot of good times where, like originally, like 4 or 5 years ago, when they started adding some different things, it was a value for somebody who spent a lot of money there. You could save money, and it was a value, and I really believe that. And I can tell you honestly, like at one point, I believe that because I saved money there. I spent a lot of money, of course, because I worked there too, and as a gamer. This week, not only have I been reading for months and for years that it's harder to sell people that because we're on the cusp of potentially a worse recession, inflation, people don't have the expenditures, they have continued to do what they do as a retail spot, an archaic brand one too, which is to strong-arm customers and their people to sell these things and buy these things that are hard to do in this time and also take away the value of it. This week they said they're raising the price of that to $25 a year and still minimizing what you're getting back from them from a loyalty.
Jesus.
Now that said, if you're familiar with this stuff, you do or don't care, that's fine. I'm saying this as a PSA. Let that place die. Do not shop at GameStop anymore. There are listen, I'm a consumer as well too. I do love mom and pop stores, places like Koi's Comic locally, Mooney's Ice Cream locally. There's good food places here. There's places you can shop locally. There's big retailers I go to. Meijer. I like Target. Five and Below is awesome. Things like that. Barnes and Nobles. There's a lot of great places to go. There's also some great mom and pop video game stores around here as well too. Amazon. I could probably talk about that for a while as well too, and not always good, but I know people have jobs there, and it would suck, but GameStop is terrible to their employees and the people, and I've dealt through it. The PTSD after leaving there, the Stockholm syndrome as well too. When you have a job like that and you're fearful of everything else, or maybe not having money or whatever, those folks don't have a choice until you have to pretty much kick them in the ass. That place is evil. Don't shop there. Don't spend your money at GameStop. They don't deserve a single fucking penny that corporation does. They've gutted corporate. They've gutted jobs. They continue to do nothing but put these people into a corner and treat them like shit for piss-ass wages. They can literally go to fucking McDonald's or somewhere else and get another job, And listen, I worked at McDonald's for 11 years. I don't got a lot of bad stuff to say about that, even though I worked for a franchise. They could go make more money elsewhere. The part of the reason they have a hard time doing that is, again, that Stockholm syndrome. You don't know what it's like when you yank out a rug from under you. There's a lot of places around here that would do more, but something needs to happen. And yeah, right. And that's the thing. I do buy some things on disc as well, stuff too, just because I like to collect. But digital is the way things are going. And GameStop has never adapted properly to the changes, or just society in general, to the market, any of it. But in the same sense, blame their people for their failures. Blame their people if they don't get pre-orders. But people don't want to pre-order anymore. I don't do it because I'm so sick and tired of buying pre-orders of games and getting a game comes out and sucks. And it's digital. I can't do anything about it. They force their people into these things. I'm telling you, GameStop preys on poor people that don't know how to handle their money, myself included. They want your wallet. They want their ideal thing is somebody to come in there and basically just say yes to everything you want and just give them whatever shady way you can get it and get their money and wallet and call it a day. They prey on people who aren't good on money. And I'm not saying that a lot of places do that. I understand how fucking life works. GameStop treats its people bad. They don't give a shit about their customers. Everything to them is $1. And I know that's, again, not uncommon with a lot of other places. I can just tell you personally what I've seen and worked with and what I've seen since and read, and the people I know that have worked there, that place needs to die. What does Drago say?
If he dies, he dies.
It needs to be done. Spend your money locally. Do whatever you got to do. Figure it out. Go. I don't even care if it's a big box retailer at this point. Go to fucking.
I'm too fucking lazy.
Go
for
to
digital.
fucking
I'm too
dumbass
fucking
Walmart.
lazy for digital or for physical.
I get
anymore.
it. Go to your Targets, go to your fucking dumbass Walmarts, go to your Myers, go to your fucking wherevers, go to Sam's. Don't spend any more money at GameStop.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. That is the last thing I want to say.
I used to love going out to midnight launches, man. I used to come see all the time. I used to have a blast with that shit. Once I think it was last gen when I sat there and I pre-ordered a game for a midnight launch, and I was like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
that was it, dude. Like other than a couple of collector's editions where there was a sweet steelbook, and I was just buy that steelbook and then bring the game to your store. Like I don't need the game, I just want the fucking steelbook.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, I understand the love for physical, and I get it. I respect it, and everyone likes to have a physical copy. Once I'm done with a game digitally, if like 6 years from now, 7, 10 years from now, any publisher, doesn't matter who it is, it was just like, hey, you're not gonna have access to your digital titles anymore, I'd be like, well, that was my fault for buying it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it is.
I've already beaten the game. I don't care that much about it. Now if it's like a fucking sweet game, then I'll be bummed out. But for the most part, once I move on from a game, I'm done with it, dude.
Yeah,
dude, you getting that Diablo steelbook? I pre-ordered physical just to get the steelbook. I'm gonna return the game. That's the way to do it. I have not seen the steelbook yet, but I might have to take a peek at it now.
Yeah, I definitely, there's a few titles where I'll buy the hard, just to have it or whatever. But unfortunately, the as we get farther forward, digital is more of a thing. Retro stuff, stay physical. And it's just a different world, and that is what it is. Cars you used to have to crank to start them up. We don't do that anymore. Cars are now going from combustion after 100 fucking years to electric. So that, things just evolve and things change. It is what it is. But one thing's always stayed the same. And that's GameStop treats its people and their customers like shit. Yeah, and people can do all their fluffing if they want of it. But I've seen the good. There were some great times there early on. That's how I met Rohit. That's how I met a lot of people. There's people probably in this chat that I've met. Crash was a customer. You were originally a customer of mine. How'd you get a PS4?
I don't think I can tell people what I did to get it.
How'd you get a PS5?
Same thing.
Right,
by the dumpster.
Right.
Anyway,
exactly.
Continue.
You know what I mean? But you were a customer too. We all were. There's a lot of us. So, that's it. I just wanted to soapbox that real quick. I'm gonna guess probably a lot of you don't shop there, but don't.
I'm gonna wheel around really quick to Brian. Said, speaking of digital, Alan Wake 2 is digital only. Interesting. And I seen the reasoning was if they can keep the costs under to $60 on consoles and $50 on PC, so they don't have to do the production of the discs and all that shit that comes with a digital or with a physical version of it. That was their justification, which I'm fine with.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep the price lower, that's a win. Again, I'm not a physical person, so I don't really give a shit. But no, that's interesting. But overall, man, it's just the showcase itself. It was a disappointing showcase. It was very disappointing. I really was hoping to see more from their first party studios, and it's nothing against Firewalk or Haven or even Bungie, but we just didn't get a whole lot regarding those games, and that was disappointing for sure. So I'm looking forward to Microsoft's show now. Now it's Microsoft's turn on June 11th. We'll obviously do a full recap of that the Wednesday after that show. Really looking forward to that, seeing what they got. Hey man, Brian, Helldivers 2 will hold me over just fine. I'm perfectly content with the Helldivers 2. Hopefully it's sometime this fall so we can get our Diablo in, and then once we move into the Diablo end game, we can fit in another live service game, which will definitely be Helldivers 2, which is fucking awesome. So I'm content with that, but overall a massive disappointment from Sony with this PlayStation Showcase.
We got that Creed announcement too, and I felt like nobody gave a fucking shit.
Oh, Assassin's Creed Mirage or whatever it was. It looked really good, but it's Assassin's Creed's Assassin's Creed
at this point.
So, but hey, Tone, that's gonna do it for this week's show.
Yes.
We got to talk about things we wanted to talk about. Not a super deep show in terms of topics, but we got to talk about things that happened today. And then again, next week, no show on Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday we'll do a show kind of preview Summer Games Fest. I'm sure we'll have tons.
Appreciate you, Ryan.
Of trailers. We're gonna see multiple movies by then. We'll have Spider-Man. I'm hopefully gonna try to go see Boogeyman and The Machine too in the process.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out The Machine soon.
So we'll try to get and shit. I mean, who knows if we can get 3 or 4 movies in, and we'll obviously talk a little bit more about Gremlins probably. And then when does Ahsoka? That's August, right?
Not to August.
Oh, hey, also,
yeah. Jesus, 2.
Yeah.
Actually, two now.
Just a pair of respects to Ray Stevenson.
God damn.
Passed away at 58 years old. And then today, Tina Turner at 83 after battling a long illness. So we lost some two remarkable people, entertainers.
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson, obviously known for Thor movies, but he was big in Star Wars, not just in the Ahsoka series, but he was an integral part of Clone Wars.
Yep. Voice actor. I mean, he's played a lot of different cameos. He's still my favorite Punisher. Just definitely a tough one to lose there. As far as the acting goes, he's always just had just a lot of things. You always see him. Sometimes you don't realize he's in those roles
at times, but he played his roles with passion.
Was really good. And then of course, the Queen of Rock and Roll,
simply the best.
Tina Turner.
Tina did that. She was, man.
I was watching some videos after that announcement today, just some old videos of hers, and I was telling you in Prime, I said I'll just never forget as a kid being like, she's got the best legs in the world. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, my mom used to listen to her all the time, so that means I always had to listen to her, and I was like, man, she's just an incredible performer.
Fucking gravelly voice.
Thunderdome, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thunderdome,
Thunderdome.
For sure.
Yeah. Good
so,
stuff,
a pair of respects to that, and rest in peace to those two just incredible talents, and we hope their fans, their families are able to get the closure they need out of this process.
Yeah, for sure.
But Tone, that is going to do it for this week's show. House cleaning?
Will, yes. As always, thank you guys for being here tonight. I know it's kind of a different type of show for us, but you're going to be seeing these over the next few weeks with the different game stuff coming out as well, too. We'll probably highlight a good Microsoft Xbox drop as well, too. This, that, and the other when the games comes as well. So really exciting to kick this off. Unfortunately, it just didn't kind of pan out the way we wanted to, but hey, we got, a few weeks more of these as well. But keep doing what you guys do, showing up when you're able to. I know it's summertime, everybody's busy, but we appreciate if you're able to hear, whether you're here live, whether you're here later. Don't forget to do those follows, likes, comments if you can. Leave us some ratings if you're able to. Tell somebody about us if you can. If you got a cousin, a friend that you know that might enjoy our bullshit, please let them know as well, too. We appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys are in the Discord as well, too. Always keep the Discord. It's funny how sometimes just look at the Discord and people are just rolling through stuff all day, and I might not even be there because I'm busy with work. I really appreciate that. That means a lot as well, too, that is, just kind of authentically does its own thing. So thank you for that. I mean, a lot of jokes, a lot of bits, but, I think everybody has a good time with it for the most part anyways. But don't forget, as always, to check out our partners. Make sure to check out 7 Dungeons every Monday night, 7 p.m., Spinning Yarn with his crew. Drassen is just telling these crazy stories. Some good, fun stuff happened this week, unfortunately, to Bishop. I don't know if Pork Chop's still around, but that was pretty crazy that happened with him. And then, of course, 2 or 3 drops a week with Half-Ass Beer Review. He's going to give you all your craft
Number 400.
beer. Number 400. He hit 400 episodes this week of those great craft beer reviews. So they're only 7-8 minutes long. If you don't drink craft beer or you want to laugh a little bit, he's always clowning a little bit as well, too. Show somebody else, likes beer, they might enjoy and get a kick out of his content. He a lot of Midwest beers, but there's a lot of things as well, too, that folks might be able to get all around the country. And then, of course, don't forget to catch King Cuddles a couple times a week as well. I know Tuesdays recently has been Spooky Tuesdays when he streams, but as always on Sundays for Cuddles Wrestling Federation as well, too.
Cuddles, did you say, is this week a PPV? I think you said this week's a pay-per-view.
PP.
Is it a pay-per-view event? I don't know if he's still there.
PP.
No, it's past his bedtime. It's late.
It might be past his
But
bedtime.
I wasn't sure. I thought he mentioned it's either going to be this week or next week, or he's got a pay-per-view coming up. That's what he said on his last stream.
Sweet.
But I don't know if I'll be defending the belt. All I know is I want a piece of Brian. No stream this weekend? Okay, no stream this weekend for the holiday weekend. He'll be back the following weekend. But I want a match with Brian because Brian disrespected me in our tag team match. Did you see the video I posted?
Yeah.
All I was doing was coming over to check out my boy, and Brian just walks over and annihilates me.
Yeah, man.
The disrespect, dude. You don't do that to the champ, baby. Okay? You don't do that to the champ.
Bitch.
All right. Get fucked, you.
There you go. See?
Yes! I love you too, Brian. All right, so that's going to do it for tonight's show. Appreciate everyone that was able to tune in tonight. Appreciate all of you that are watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify and iTunes. We love your support. We appreciate you. We hope everyone has a great, safe Memorial weekend. Have a good time. Drink up, eat good, but be safe.
Take a nap.
And for Fanboytone, I'm the Dude79. We will see you next Friday night for Diablo 4, and then the following Wednesday for another episode of Banter and Babble. Good night, everybody.